Hey everyone, Ben here, and it seems there's yet another cheating scandal in sim racing, this time impacting Assetto Corsa Competizione. Now, I don't pretend to know the ins and outs of the individual case here, so I'm not going to present tweets on screen or get into naming names. You can do your own research and reach your own conclusions. I also have no idea how widespread cheating is across different sim racing titles, but what I do know is that in 10 weeks, 2023 has seen some very high profile instances of cheating and unsportsmanlike behaviour across a number of different sims. So there's clearly an issue here, even if in the best case scenario it turns out to have been limited to a handful of bad faith actors. So in that context, what do I make of it all? Well, firstly, let's be really clear. If you're cheating to win, then you're already a loser. Sure, cheating goes on in all walks of life, in work, at home, in professional sports, etc, etc. The list of high-profile cases of cheating at the top of motorsport is long indeed, just as it is in other competitive online games. So there's no inherent reason why sim racing would be any different. But while I don't come even close to participating at a high level myself, my overriding feeling is that anyone who engages in physics exploits or feels the need to use computer programs to disable key elements of the simulation so that you automatically go faster than the rest of the field is a very sad individual indeed. Sure, at the esports end of things there are cash prizes and life-changing opportunities to fight for, but at the end of the day, you haven't won anything if you cheat. Ultimately, one way or another, it's highly likely that your cheating will be found out eventually, as will your lack of talent. I mean, good luck hacking a real GT3 car. And you're not the only loser. To a greater or lesser extent, as sim racers, we all lose because of this kind of behaviour. It relegates our hobby to just another video game with cheats and exploits and calls into question the integrity of every race you participate in. It makes it harder to look at the latest esports results and feel respect and admiration for the podium finishers. And if this continues at the rate that it is, don't be surprised if people rightly or wrongly even start to become suspicious of the results of high-ranked open lobbies. It's not a great leap from they only won because of their setup to they only won because they've hacked the game, and many won't wait for evidence before throwing accusations around. Now ultimately it seems this is not the problem of just one sim racing title. We've seen a variety of issues appear in the official F1 games, iRacing and ACC in the first 2.5 months of this year alone, covering issues as wide as following the sporting code through to hacks of the games themselves. Now we may never be able to fully stop this kind of behaviour. If the wider world teaches us anything, it's that most institutions are locked in a constant battle of how to combat ever more innovative rule breakers to at least try and maintain something of a fair playing field for the rest of us. But there is surely a lot more sim racing titles can do proactively to tighten up their online platforms and respond decisively when wrongdoing is discovered. Now, I don't know the technical implications of developing anti-cheat software or how sim titles themselves need to be designed in order to make cheats and exploits much harder to use. Maybe it's really difficult to do, maybe it costs a lot of money. But if your ambition is to seriously grow online esports and online sim racing as a whole, then this is a necessary part of the platform, and it's incumbent on developers to deliver. Just as, on a much larger scale, Formula 1 has a ridiculously in-depth scrutineering system to police their teams and drivers. After all, if the integrity of sim racing becomes increasingly doubtful, brands will become ever more reluctant to participate, and eventually, so will players themselves. So let's hope the sim racing cheating stories that have broken in 2023 are exceptional and not part of a wider and growing problem. But let's also hope sim racing developers take it as a wake-up call to strengthen the protections in their existing and future titles, and ensure that those found breaking the rules get the punishments they deserve.